Now, I've had a very long day today, which is why I thought no, it's getting worse. Let's go this way. Which is why I thought, no, that's even worse. That's much worse. There you go. Let's hope that will do. That will do. Now, obviously, as I said, I've had a very, very long day today. So rather than trying to rush to do a video, I just thought that I would do a live stream, because I know that when you don't see my face, for a couple of weeks, some of you get so mad. I'm embarrassed by my hair at the moment. Two Please is here. It's been a long time since I've seen Two Please. Although I messaged you the other day to check you're all right. But I suppose the reason it's been a long time since I've seen you is because it's been a long time since I've done this. So, but yes, as I said, so I've had a long day today. I didn't fancy doing a video. I broke down my 1,000 litre tank. Well, the majority of the 1,000 litre tank has been broken down. Now, I did that for a reason, a very specific reason, and I wasn't planning to break it down yesterday. So obviously something that happened yesterday which made me break it down. Now, those of you that have been following me on Facebook and Instagram will know that this tank has almost been like a bit of an experiment for me recently, and because what happened was, so I'll take you back to the very, very beginning. About probably 3 months ago now, my parents are obviously older people, so they decided that they didn't want me around anymore because obviously what's going on in the world, so which I understand. So I had a choice. I had to basically either shut the tank down then and there, or and leave the fish there, or remove the coral and leave the fish there for them to look after. Now, what I chose to do in the end was to remove all the coral, which is what a lot of it is what you see in the mega build. Now, what was interesting was when I removed the coral, I cut off. You can see that I'm quite tired, so you have to bear with me. My train of thought's not coherent at the moment. But yeah, where was I? 1 sec. Oh, so yeah, so obviously I put it into the mega build, and what I did is I cut off the coral, not at the very base, so there was like a little tiny bits of coral left. And then after a month, I went back, and what was amazing was, despite the fact that the tank has had very, very little care, other than just purely feeding the corals and topping up the obviously the dosing solutions, the corals were thriving. So that was the first month, and then the second month there was an issue with the alkalinity dosing tube which blocked, and then again, if you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you will have seen this. So some of you, I'm repeating myself. The alkalinity basically, blocked. So like, I don't know how long it was blocked for, but when I went back and checked the alkalinity of the tank was 3. Now, no one believed me when I said this, but I showed the little picture of hand check, and everyone was saying the reagent's out of date, or the hand checker's broken, but I tested it with Red Sea, Salifert, and the hand checker. It absolutely, I think it was 3.2 or something, 3.4. And again, the corals were still alive, so it must have been a very, very slow, a slow decline. But yeah, they were still doing great. So I then decided to just keep it running, just as it was, because I've already got duplicates of the corals, and the nitrate and phosphate were normal. The fish weren't affected by any of the chemistry issue. I did gradually start to increase the alkalinity by, it was basically 0.1 every couple of days or something. I can see lots of people are commenting. I will go through the comments, so I won't miss anyone. I will go back to the beginning. I saw obviously Jay's Real Reef. Jay's Real Reef is one of the most regular visitors of my website. So he gets a shout out. But Jay is quite. Well, I'll call him Jay's. Jay's not his full name, but Jay's Real Reef. he's reasonably new at the hobby, but he started a YouTube channel, and quite often I actually prefer his videos to some of mine, if that's honest. And it's because he's so enthusiastic. It's nice to see like a new person come into the hobby. I believe he's new. I can't say guarantee. I'm pretty sure he's reasonably new. But it's nice. I might be offending him now if he's had a tank for years. But I'm 99% sure he's reasonably new. But it's nice to see the enthusiasm and of new people coming into the hobby, basically. Anyway, back to the obviously the story. So I was slightly increasing the alkalinity. Everything was fine. The fish were fine. The fish were actually fatter and healthier. Well, you assume healthier, because we assume that fish are healthy based on how fat they are. But I'm not entirely sure. I don't think that works for people. But but yeah, so I did have a conversation about fish nutrition with someone once. I see how easily I digress onto all different things. But anyway, going back to yes. So going back to the story. So obviously the tank again, another month there was no issue. I went there yesterday, and unfortunately, one of the fish had died, and it was my Nasso tang or lipstick tang. It was a blonde lipstick tang, and it was a big tang, and I couldn't work out what it was, but it was literally stuck to the power head. And this is a big fish. There was no way that the power head had obviously caused the issue. But so I did all the tests. Everything was fine. Everything was completely fine. No issues at all. And all the other fish were completely fine. There were no signs of disease. But I hate if something dies, whether it's a fish or a coral. Corals are a bit more difficult. I like to know what caused it, because firstly, I definitely didn't want it to be an absolutely catastrophic where I go today and everything's dead. So I did all the usual tests. Nothing that, like, the corals were still alive, still growing, still thriving. So what was it that would cause this fish, this fat, healthy fish to die, basically? And it took me a little while, but I worked out what it was, what I believe it was. So obviously, while no one's really been maintaining the tank, the weir had some algae growing in it. Now there was no algae in the rest of the tank because the fish consume it, but the weir is something that I always clean with a toothbrush, which I'd never even thought of telling my parents to do that. And you're thinking, how is it possible that the weir can kill a fish? Well, this is what I believe happened, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of people in the comment section that will have some sort of different theory. But if you have a different theory, then by all means, tell me. I'm very interested. So the weir had gone up. The water was still flowing over, but only the tiniest trickle of water. And what had happened was there was like an oily slick layer on the top. Now, as the weir had gradually got more and more water from the RO had been put in. Now that again, the salinity was fine, so that wasn't the issue, because every so often I adjusted the salinity. So the weir, as I said, the water level of the entire tank had moved up probably about an inch. Now I have the power heads. You can see these are slightly different, but the MP40s are quite high on my other tank to create a lot of water movement at the surface, and this is to promote lots of oxygen. Now I have a lot of tangs in that tank, Scopus tang, Nasso tang. I had a lot of tangs. I've got a big, it's an orange lime tang, although it's just completely brown. So that was obviously in the yes. I've just realised I've got 2 dislikes. Wow. In fact, I'm going to join. So everyone wants the dislike button. I'm going to click dislike myself. So there's now 3 dislikes. And if anyone else wants to click the dislike button, go for it, because 4, good, nice. The reason I don't care if if people click the like or dislike button. 5, keep going people, is because it's engagement. So YouTube goes, people are clicking it. So all the people that are clicking the dislike button now, there's 9. All those people weren't clicking the like button a minute ago. So I've now got more people engaging in the video. So YouTube likes it more and it moves it up on the algorithm. So people who think that they're like, you know, being mean are actually helping me. And it's the same with the comments. So, I'm noticing the likes are going up as well. Who's doing that? I didn't ask for likes, dislikes today. But anyway, back to the story. So the power heads were no longer churning up the water at the surface. I'll be honest with you, the power heads themselves needed a little bit of cleaning. So that in itself, they were producing less flow, and the oil at the top was preventing, I believe, was preventing like a healthy exchange of oxygen. So, and obviously the NATO tank was the biggest fish in the tank, which suggests that, which obviously needs the most oxygen, which is how I came to the theory that it was an oxygen deficiency, which sadly killed the tank. Anyway, although I realised that probably within an hour of what happened, I didn't want to take any chances. I've had some of those fish, including that one of my neighbours is looking out the window. And they can see obviously into my kitchen as I'm talking into the camera. People think that I'm crazy. I think the balloon light is enough, but yeah. So I've obviously that NATO tang I got in one of my videos. Probably it was about 6 or 7 years ago now, I reckon. So I've had it for a long time, and I hate losing. Everyone hates losing fish, but some people are more attached to their fish than others. I get very attached to my fish. So but it's one of those things. It's part of the hobby. These things happen sometimes. It's almost unavoidable, but even after 14 years, I still don't. It doesn't get any easier, if you see what I mean. So, and as I said, it was one of those, because I spoke to Mindy earlier, and she said, look, it's not, because I never blame my parents. If anything goes wrong with that tank, it is 100% my fault. It's just, as I said, it's my responsibility, so that's it basically. So, and Mindy said to me, look, it's not your fault, and because these things happen sometimes, and it's true. If you give anything enough time, it will happen. If you've got battery backups, for example, which I have battery backups on all the tanks, eventually, basically, one of them will fail. Given enough time, one of them will fail, and you'll have a power cut, and obviously, and then you might lose things. So these things happen. That's just part of the hobby. So, but yes, that was the bad news. It's unfortunate because it was actually that was the one fish that I wasn't planning to keep, and it was going to go to. There's a guy called Jamie's Coral Reef, who is only about 20 minutes up the road, and he has an absolutely massive tank. It's far bigger than the ones here. So, and the other reason I thought I'd do a live stream today is because I know that many people. Oh. Right, Mindy's calling me, but that's why it cut out. But I need to. I reckon she's gonna. One sec. I don't even know if you can still see me at the moment. Oh, can you see me? Yes, you can. So yeah, sorry, Mindy called me. That's why I was. That's why I cut out for a second. But give me 1 second. Let me just message her so she knows what I'm doing. So you see how I can't type, and she might actually pop in a minute now that she knows I'm doing a live stream, but we'll see. Anyway, Right. Now where were we? Because I've lost all train of thought now. Anyway, yeah. So what I did today, obviously, with regards to that tank, is it's not completely closed down. So I've taken all the rocks out, all the corals out. The only thing that's left in there is the fish, and it's because it basically would be impossible to catch them because it was so murky. I have been back a couple of hours later, and the fish are all fine. They're all sort of swimming around and everything, so which is good. So she's literally completely thrown me off. She's literally completely thrown me off. I cannot. Oh, apparently she needs something. I get in trouble if I ignore her. So anyway, let me have a quick look at the. Let's have a look at what everyone's saying. Let's have a look. We can hear you. Tank's looking sweet. Yeah, obviously you haven't seen the Red Sea tank for a while. I was a little bit annoyed with the Red Sea tank because I sort of I wanted to. Well, it's not really the Red Sea tank. I have so many corals, obviously, and so many nice corals in the mega build, and I obviously those are for selling. And obviously it's cost a huge amount of money, the mega build. So I sort of said to myself, I'm not going to indulge myself with fancy corals. They're separate. They stay in there. And then the longer the lockdown goes on, and the longer I'm staring at them, the nicer they start to look, basically. And so obviously you can see I've given myself an orange hammer. And there's obviously a few other nice pieces in there. I will do a proper rundown of the whole of the whole tank at some point. It's just it takes. It just touches so delicately. There you go. It takes quite a long time to. Oh, sorry, one sec. She actually does need something. Talk amongst yourselves for a while. Right, those of you that don't know, Mindy is coming here next Friday. Obviously, boom! Yeah, no big announcement. That's a bit of a lackluster one. That's why it's quite important that I'm dealing with it, because she's dealing with permits and stuff for her dogs. So and I think she might need something. So there's a possibility that I might not be staying much longer. But I've asked her to tell me what she needs, but she just says she needs help with something. But well, I can see it says bring back blondies from Kev. So obviously Kevin, you obviously now know that is the plan. Nasty moves his tank this weekend. Your tank's a little bit smaller though. So it's just a little bit smaller than 1,000 litres, that tank. So I'm not looking forward to moving it. It took 6 people to move it last time, and obviously with because of the virus at the moment, we're sort of limited with regards to which 6 people we have, and most people haven't been to the gym, including myself, for over a year. So so I'm really not looking forward to that. The reason I haven't taken the water out yet is because as I said, the fish, it was all murky, and I could have just drained the water, but as soon as I drain the tank, it will smell, and I don't want, obviously, my whole parents' house stinking of the tank. So on tomorrow, the tank, all the fish will be removed, the water will be drained, and the fish will be moved out of the house. So then it won't be too much of an issue, because we've got my uncle's actually fitting air conditioning for them, so it's so that's why. Okay, right. Yeah, so Mindy needs some help with the permits for her dogs. I have to contact some people here, so she needs to contact some people there. I've no idea what people are saying with regards to you. I'm miles up. The Nasty Nemo, I saw you block someone a minute ago called Christian. I don't know who, I don't know what he said, but if you could unblock him, that would be brilliant. I know Christian quite well, and he is all right. I know you're only looking after me, if you're still here. But yeah, as I said, he's one of the all right people. You've been hanging around that Red Sea forum too long, you know. You got that banhammer out too quick. So right, where were we? Red Sea tanks looking nice, yeah. Thanks, Neil. Thanks for the coral pal. They look great, not like they had been in the box and post opened up straight away. Now, a lot of people, that's what a lot of people comment when obviously they receive corals from me, is that I don't know what I'm doing differently with regards to shipping, but a lot of people comment on just how well they're packaged. Oh, view deleted message. Oh, strange. Getting fat is getting in shape. Round is a shape. True. Sorry to hear this. Jay doesn't get any better. That's true. It doesn't get any better. Hang on for payday. Look, I know why you're waiting for payday. Jay got a very, very nice chalice the other day. Only gets worse. Prestige Reef OnlyFans. I'm not quite sure what OnlyFans I could do, because the traditional OnlyFans, I'm sure you definitely don't want that. I wish I could order corals. Yeah, unfortunately Brexit sort of screwed shipping corals anywhere else. Nasty Nemo, where the nice corals come from. A lot of the corals came from Nasty Nemo, so like they were the Sunkiss. See, Nasty Nemo is very clever. What he did is he bought one of my Sunkiss, or I actually bought 2 of them about a year ago, and then he sold 10 of them back to me. So he's obviously a businessman. Will you move the fish tomorrow, and where to? The fish will be moving. It will be spread between. Some will go into this tank, and some will go into the mega build. So obviously there's plenty of tanks in there. They'll probably be all kept separately. The system 2 hasn't changed much since the last video, so there's still just a load of empty tanks. I've taken all the corals out of the tray they were in and moved them to the very end, because at the moment the radions, I've got 6 radions doing basically 30 frags, which is just a waste of money. So I moved them to the one with 4. Now I know you could say why don't you just turn one of the 4 on, but it took me so long. There's 36 radions in there. It took me so long to program them all together one by one, specially name them all. So I literally don't want to do anything, and they're all in the roof. There's 72 plug sockets in total in that room. I think there's 50 something in the roof. So although you see certain plug sockets, there's a lot more than you can see, and unfortunately they're not labelled. So I think James knows where, because James is the one who worked in the Reef. James knows where they are, but I actually don't. 1 second. Right. Is the Reef? Will you be moving fish tomorrow? Yes. Moving to Mega Build? Yes, that's correct. Is it windy out? Because of my hair. I'm assuming that's why you're asking if it's windy out. My hair does this when it's because I've been working in the tank all day. The humidity. My hair is so long. It's so long now. So it's but I still can't get a haircut for and I've got an appointment booked on the 16th of April, I think. How much did it cost, the mega build? The mega build cost a ton. A ton. let's put it this way, the loan that I had was like 30 grand, and I put some of my own money in as well. So it's cost a lot of money. But look, I've probably messed my hair up now, haven't I? It's a business, and businesses cost money. And if I was going to be a plumber, I would need to buy tools, I need to buy a van, and I need to buy all sorts of things. So it's one of those things where, although it is a lot of money, when you look at it in comparison to starting a shop, for example, which probably also would cost 30 grand, it's a lot of money. But I had some sleepless nights. The sales have done all right. They've done pretty all right so far for the first 3 months of it being properly open. January did well, and then February. I think obviously December wasn't as good because there were people buying Christmas presents and it was quite cold and I couldn't ship, so December wasn't too good. And then January was good, and then or better, and then February was better than January, and now I'm one sale away from being better than February. So if someone wants to like make my day, put in an order right now, or literally just before the end of the month, because as I said, it might end up being 2 orders, but I'm roughly 1 to 2 orders, depending on obviously what people spend, away from having 3 consecutively months where they get better and better. So but and as you know, as you can see now, it's definitely it's cost a lot. So right, curious of the fatality rate with your shipping corals. I don't have, obviously it's difficult to say 100% what the fatality rate is but I get messages almost every day with people going, I'm really happy with what I got. Corals are bigger than I expected. The shipping was done really well. The corals were open. The polyps were open while in the pots. And also they're clean. There's quite a few people in the comments probably now that have bought corals from me. So they themselves. Now the only reason I was hesitant because I did have one box the other day, and that's where the corals were alive, but they didn't look they looked a bit ropey. So I said to the guy, look, if you've got any issues, let me know, and I'll replace them. I'll either replace them or refund them, because I don't want people unhappy basically. So it's just that's it. And I know some people might take. I'm trying to work out where this. Oh, there it is. I got this there. I got this weird bit sticking out. I know some people might take advantage of that, but hopefully people are decent enough not to take advantage of that. So so I don't believe I've had no one, as far as I know, there's no one who's gone, I would never use you again. This was a terrible experience. There are people where they've had where I've had a coral die, and as I said, I replace it or I refund you. So, and quite often people are too nice, and they go, no, don't worry about it. It's what usually happens is they'll put in a second order, and then I'll go back and say, oh, how are the last corals doing? And they'll go, oh, these ones are good, and then this one didn't do too well for whatever reason. And I go, and then as soon as they told me, in the second order, send them an extra one, and to replace it, because obviously the people that are supporting me at the moment, it's making a huge difference to my life. So I really want to look after people. And as I said in one of my videos, I've been in customer service for 14 years now. So it's just part of what I do. But yes, so with regards to fatality rate, going back to the original question, it's very, very incredibly low. I reckon I probably sent out almost 1,000 frags, and it would be a tiny amount. So yeah, I wouldn't. It's not a bit. I can't even ship to you anyway because you're in America. Oh, there you go. Someone just said my corals from Ryan's were all safe. That's good. Where are we? Amazingly packaged. There you go. See, we're waiting for a tank full of tanks on full disco mode. I know I promised that, and it's something that I would like to do. I just worry that if I put all the tanks on disco mode, all the wrasse will simultaneously jump out at the same time. So it's just it's one of those things. What are those two hammers in the left bottom of the tank? I'm assuming you're talking about. Well, this is the orange hammer, so that's the one that you've seen on the website. This one isn't on the website. I've only got two of them, and I wanted to keep one of them for myself. And the other one is too big to ship. So a lot of the corals I ship, I'm a bit nervous about shipping. I've sort of perfected the art of shipping frags now, and it wasn't my idea. Like, obviously, I've seen other people do it, so I'm very comfortable with shipping. Like anything that can fit in a pot, I'm happy to ship. But it's the bigger pieces that I'm not. I don't want to risk it, if you see what I mean, at the moment. So there's that. Just saw the stream. Someone quickly summarise why the dude is shutting down. I'm not. I'll have to see if someone summarised. Is Mindy coming to live here? So if so, does that mean you're going to start a seahorse collection? Mindy doesn't have actually her seahorses anymore. Mindy doesn't have any of her tanks anymore because obviously she's coming here. So yes, it is a. Look. We're both realistic about this. It's a big move. Mindy doesn't want to live here. Mindy is only coming here to be with me, and so it's a big deal for her to come here with her daughter, and to a country that she doesn't know or particularly like. Not that she doesn't not like it. She wants to live in Florida where it's sunny, and England is not Florida. It's not sunny. Sometimes it's sunny. So we have to we're very realistic. She's coming here. We're going to see how it goes. Like obviously it's serious. Like there's no denying it's serious. She's bringing her dogs. She even got a permit to bring her fish. Which I didn't even think was possible. But she got a permit to bring her sailfin. But that plan has changed now because it's I think she's had the sailfin for 12 years. So she's a bit nervous about obviously. It's quite a risk bringing it across the other side of the world when you don't know how to pack fish, if you see what I mean. You need oxygen and stuff like that for the longer journeys. So I believe that plan's gone, but she actually did get a, you actually don't need a permit. If it's a pet, you don't need it. So, right, let's have a look. I don't know if I'm so far back or not. I bought too many corals off you. That's true. John T is one of my bigger buyers. Are you still doing your other job? I am still doing my other job, although technically I'm furloughed at the moment. I'm not furloughed. Well, I am furloughed, but it's like a part-time furlough because since that changed, I think it was in July last year. You were allowed to be furloughed part-time, and since then I do my some work in the morning. And some work in the, and then I work on the corals and stuff like that in the afternoon. So it's although this year has been awful for lots and lots and lots of people, including to some extent obviously myself. I've been through the same lockdowns and I live by myself, so it's and I've still got no furniture, so the walls feel like they're closing in sometimes in this grey prison. But yeah, it's definitely But also so obviously there have been some very trying times. Even when Mindy is here, it's been like she doesn't know if she can get home. Which creates a lot of stress. So there have been some really really trying times, but it has given me the ability to do this and to test it, to do what I love, which is amazing. So so there have been, for me personally, there have been some positives, although my positives are insignificantly minute in comparison to the negatives that everyone else has obviously experienced. But every cloud obviously has a silver lining. Definitely going to buy coral from you. I look forward to Adam. As I said, if you want to do it tonight or within the next two days, next month. No, okay, you can go into next month's one then. Why do you not ship to the EU? Brexit banned. You need CITES permits now. So before you could literally just ship anything, now you can't, which is unfortunate. Um, where I have bought a 200-gallon tank. Wow, that is a big tank. It was a big tank for your first tank, anyway. I hear this tank is huge for the first tank. That is huge. Well, I'm jealous because I actually want. This is obviously this is a 4-foot tank, and I'm used to having. I haven't had a 4-foot tank other than this one for a long time. I'm used to having a much larger tank than this, and I don't know what the future of this tank is at the moment, because I would like, obviously all the fish that are in my 1,000-litre tank are coming here, and obviously this is it's got about, I think, 350 litres, I think, in total, like when you take out the rocks and stuff like that, which is not a huge amount for fish that have been in a 1,000-litre tank. So I would like to get a bigger tank, and there's a little bit more room either side of the tank. It's big enough for a 6-foot tank anyway. So that I don't know what I'm going to do at the moment. I would like, as I said, for me it's about keeping. I've got a large regal angelfish which I'd like to have in here, but it's just this system's just too small. So to be able to keep her and not put her within all the coral, where she can eat my she can potentially eat my profits, it means I might need to upgrade. So where are we? I'll give you a hand to move the tank, but you're a 2 hours drive away. Yeah, probably. Trust me, you don't want to help move the tank. Is this going to open? Is this going to open up some sale? Oh no, as in all the corals and fish all the corals have been. There's no coral in that tank anymore. So a lot of people are asking me if I'm selling stuff from that tank. I am selling stuff from that tank, but I've been selling it for months now. Are you and Mindy getting married? Mindy and I are currently not engaged. So you will have to wait and see what the future holds. As I said, we're very realistic, and there wasn't like some sort of cloud of secrecy. Then we're very realistic. There is a possibility that Mindy might come here, and then she might hate me. So yeah, so we have to just see how it goes. Right, where are we? Have you ever seen Worldwide Corals Tidal Garden streams? I have. I used to watch a lot of Tidal Garden streams, but I haven't seen Worldwide Corals do it. What do you think of their stock? A lot of people think that the UK and America have. It's quite interesting. People in the UK think that Americans get all the best corals, but so often Americans look on my website and they go, I wish I could get some of your corals. And I just think to myself, I think it's the perception. I think people want what they can't have, because the corals that we think are special, they don't think are special, and the corals that they don't think are special, we think are special. So we are still in lockdown at the moment. I've just placed an order. Have you literally just placed an order? I need to check. 1 second. Don't, I hope. Neil, you legend. Neil has just placed an order. It's, unfortunately, I'm still slightly just under. But I'm literally under by like £10 now. So I'm so close, but thank you very much, Neil. As I said, I'm inching my way closer. Have you guys, where are we now? Just been placed. Any suggestions for this tank? Don't want to mess up. Just start really slowly, really slowly, and don't buy Xenia. I have Xenia in my place. I sell Xenia. Every time someone wants to buy Xenia, I tell them not to. So yeah, don't buy Xenia. I've got a couple of clownfish that keep trying to host my tracking. It's upsetting my tracking. Any advice on getting the clowns to stop? Anything you could potentially do is try and get them to host something else. And other than that, unfortunately, you might have to either remove the tracking or remove the clownfish. And clownfish do kill corals, or can kill corals, if they continually upset them. And it seems to be some clownfish are more vigorous than others with corals. Ask Red Sea for another tank. I wouldn't. Firstly, I never asked Red Sea for this tank. Red Sea approached me. And I'm not the sort of person that would go to Red Sea, hey, give me a bigger tank. It's not in my nature. So if people would like to come to me and would like advertising, then obviously sometimes most of the stuff you see, like obviously I buy myself. So quite often people think I'm like advertising something. I'm just like, no, like literally this is just what I bought. With Mindy combs, that means she'll give you a much needed haircut. I don't want Mindy to cut my hair, but there's a possibility that she might, because she usually gets whatever she wants. So I don't know if there's I don't know if there was one time in the very, very first lockdown where Mindy decided to shave my chest. So doing my hair is probably less. It's and I'm quite hairy, so it was a lot. It looked like she'd shaved a small dog. But that's not a secret. There's pictures of that on Instagram, so from a long time ago. All the corals, from my recent orders doing well. Jack Lantern crusting, just the gonny has half bleached. When did you get the gonny, Jonty? Jonty, was it a recent one or was it an older order? Can we collect if we order from the store? There are people that do collect, yes. I'm based in West Sussex, not far from Horsham. So if you want to, Horsham's probably the nearest town. So if you want to say Reef Dork's here, I don't know if Reef Dork is still here, but I've only just got to your message. But hello, Reef Dork. I should probably see if. All right, I need to take another picture with you. Jay's Reef has a few heads of neon green candy cane. Make best starter coral. Originally, I used to advise people best starter coral was some sort of soft coral, but I don't actually do that so much anymore now. Providing people can have a basic understanding or an understanding of testing their water, and they can demonstrate that. So if like, I'm not trying to test them, if they said to me, what coral, people quite often say, what coral should I get as my first coral? And I say to them, would you test your water? And they say yes. And I'll ask them about parameters and stuff like that. And then providing they say they know they tick all the correct boxes, if you see what I mean, see my eye, then I actually quite often suggest euphilia of some sort of frog spawn, because they're interesting, they don't grow out of control, people want them, and they're hardy. As long as you know how to how to test your water and how to adjust it, then you're pretty safe with a euphilia. Where do you see your business in 5 years' time? I've got big plans. It won't be in the garage in 5 years' time, that's for sure. There's a lot of people. The entire industry seems to want me. Well, not the entire industry. The entire wholesale industry wants me to start a shop, but I can't imagine wanting to. I don't think I'd do. I have a problem with my legs for a start, so I can't stand up for long periods of time. So that's one reason I wouldn't want to be a shop. And I quite like a one-on-one personal experience, and a shop doesn't offer that. So would I potentially own a shop and have someone else do it? Then that's something that I would consider doing. But I just, as I said, there's different people who are suited for different things, and I don't believe working in the shop is something that I would be good at, if you see what I mean. Are you not worried about the wrasses jumping? The wrasses jumping are a concern for me. It's a difficult one. They sleep under the egg crate, and obviously the egg crate. Usually wrasses jump at night. That's what I've experienced in the past. You come down in the morning, and there's a wrasse on the floor. Something spooked you, obviously, in the night. So the wrasses sleep under the coral trays. So technically they have this, and the coral trays are literally all the way around, like right to the edge pretty much. So that keeps them in. And I touch wood, it's been all right so far. It's just very difficult. It's difficult because you need RASs as a form of defense just in case, but it's very difficult because I can't. Trying to cover that many tanks is not an easy task. When will there be more orange hammers available, please? Obviously, they're growing at the moment, so it's difficult to say. I actually did find one other. It was in the middle of. I thought I had a colony that was all together, which were too close, so they couldn't frag them. But I did find one piece that was separate, so there might be one up reasonably soon. And better by Jason as well. Not sure what that is. Macros growing really nicely, but I can't keep torches for a long time. Any tips keeping them? If your macros are doing fine, your torches aren't, is possibly could be a nutrient issue. Also, no, because macros are they're not really difficult, but they're far more sensitive than torches. Without knowing more about your tank, Luca, it would be difficult to say if I'm honest. I've just got a RAS running no top. Fish Place is one of my Patreons, so welcome. And well, there's quite a few of my patrons here. I believe Jonty is, and Jay's Real Reef is one as well. Are you planning on selling a frag swap? I would love to do a frag swap. I might actually have to be the person that creates a frag swap in the UK, because obviously we don't have shows over here. We don't have frag swaps like the same as they do in the US. So I might. Obviously, I've got a reasonable following, and I think that some people would turn up, and I think it would be good. I also the other thing I like an idea of is for all the online sellers are all shunned by the shops. Shops don't like us. It's sad really, but a lot of the online sellers also get on with each other. So what I would like to do is potentially. This is not, so don't think of this as an immediate thing. I would love to have a room, just a small room, maybe 10 tanks or 5, 8, 9, whatever tanks, and to have all the online sellers in the same room on the same day. I don't think it would be a really, because that's what they do at frag swaps in America, and it's just nice basically to all get together, and the online sellers over there, they all swap corals with each other. So before, this is what because obviously, because I'm filming places like Macro, Reef, Palooza and things like that, I get to go in early before everyone else. So, and obviously all the vendors are there. So all the vendors go round all the other vendors, and they all pick all the corals that they want for their systems before anyone else gets in. So it would be nice to have the same sort of level of camaraderie over here. And look, don't get me wrong, Signature Frags, he had a big sale yesterday. I bought a load of coral from him yesterday. So, and he bought some coral from me the other day. So, and I know he's gonna grow them out, but it takes him ages. It will take ages for him to grow a small frag into a big colony and then frag it. So, and the reality is, if I don't sell it to him, he'll get it from somewhere else, and it's vice versa, and we accept that. So that's why I don't see there being any issues with. There's no like, oh, I'm going to keep this so that other people can't like buy it or culture it. It just seems crazy, but it is what it is. So, but yes, as I said, I'd love to get all the online sellers together, all in the room, all on the same day, and then just and get a load of you guys there as well. The other thing that I would like to do, maybe one day, is have probably 10 people, maximum 10 people, and do like a barbecue, maybe a barbecue. 10, they're obviously not just anyone can turn, like, I can't just go, yeah, everyone come. I think my neighbours might have an issue if all of a sudden I let 38,000 people know where I live. But maybe one day do a barbecue or something once obviously it's all over. So, oh, Jamie's Reef's here. I mentioned you earlier. So, wire average new pile. Oh, I didn't realise I've literally got to the bottom. There are 95 people watching. And it's and the comment section is reasonably quiet, which is good. So, well, that is good. Maybe you're all bored. So, I don't know if there's anything else. I've been almost an hour. My phone's probably going to run out soon because it's not plugged in. But but yeah, if there's obviously I've done my talking now. So if there is anything that you would like to see Nasty Nemo, he's one of my suppliers, so he obviously will get an invite. So when do you think the orange recorder will be available, and what new corals are coming soon? I was actually meant to put an order in tonight. Actually, maybe not tonight. I was going to put. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. No, probably not now. But the wait for the orange recordiers got even longer, and the reason it got even longer is because I took one for myself, which is there. So yeah. So unfortunately, the wait for the orange recordiers got even longer. So yeah. Do you plan on getting more zoas? Zoas are the things that I'm moving into now. I actually have, you can't see them but very well in there, but I've got a load of zoas at the top. And I've probably got about 20 to, yeah, probably about between 20 and 30 variants now. So I will be getting into zoas, but the way to get zoas, you can't usually buy, it's unusual to buy, like I can't import a huge colony of space chaos, for example. So to get zoas, I have to buy a frag of zoas, which then has to grow out, and obviously that takes time. So obviously the longer, so even though I've got zoas now, if I just ship them out to obviously whoever buys them, it then stops me from propagating them. So I know a lot of people, so many people are desperate for me to get into zoas. I get messages probably like once a day saying, "Oh, when are you going to get into zoas? When are you getting zoas?" And I will. I believe zoas is a huge, it's like a huge missed market, which I'm not part of at the moment. But there's definitely enough room in the mega build, and the zoas are going to go into the system which is already running, which means I need to move all the other corals over to system 2. So that's the other reason it's not so much done yet. Remember, everyone hit the dislike button. Looking to buy a tang. Any suggestions? Coal tangs are good fun. I've never been a fan of coal tangs myself. I like any Zebrazoma tangs, but I wouldn't go for a yellow tang anymore because they're like Bitcoin, where like not long ago they were like £30 and now they're like hundreds of pounds. So yeah, so I'd give a yellow tang a miss at the moment. Are you planning to expand the shipment outside the UK? Unfortunately, I can't expand the shipment outside the UK. So it's UK only. Loving the content. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. So, Gabe is here. I have literally been waiting before I even started the live stream. I was like, I wonder if Gabe's going to be there today. And you've come in almost an hour late. So, have I heard from Michael? I have not heard from Michael. I have actually tried to get hold of Michael. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he's okay or if he's not okay. Mike and I obviously were good friends, and I know he needed a period of time to try basically to sort his head out and everything. So, but I have a feeling he will be back. I haven't spoken to him. I have no idea if this is true. What I know from experience myself, obviously a long time ago, this channel was closed down, and there's something that eats away at you when you're not doing it. So it's a bit of a funny one because like when you have a YouTube channel, a lot of people think they want YouTube channels, and at first it's good fun, but then you start to feel this pressure of putting content out constantly. Every week you have to think of something new, and if you don't put something out, so as I said, I've had a long day, but because I didn't put out a video last week, I'm sitting here now doing this because I feel in myself I have to do it. And the way YouTube works, if you don't keep putting content out, it punishes you basically. So my how it shares my videos does this. It keeps going up and up and up. And then if one week I don't put out a video, it does this. And then you have to start from down here again. And then you put out another one and it goes up again. And then you miss a week and it goes down again. So it is it becomes very much like being on a treadmill that you can't, you feel like it's part of your life basically. You can't not do it. And obviously if you're doing it full time, great, you're doing it as a job, you have spare time, you can take the weekends off. But in fact I'm pretty sure all fish YouTubers other than Reef builders, and obviously BRS and not Milev's Reef, although technically yeah, to some extent Milev's Reef is because I think he has a website. Okay, there's a few, the majority of Reef related YouTube channels, they just do it in their spare time, and it takes time. So I would rather be. In fact, there's literally something I want to watch on TV. I rarely watch TV. I rarely have time to watch TV. But there's something I would like to watch on TV. And I saw it's Brooklyn Nine-Nine. There's another season of it. So I saw it earlier, and I thought to myself, I'll watch that. I'll watch that. And then I thought, oh no, come on, I gotta speak to you guys, because if I don't come and do this, I get all these messages going, are you dead? And I'm like, I'm not dead. So I understand. I've gone off a track. I also worked out that I get, I think it was like I counted once. I got 160 messages in one day. So people get offended sometimes if you don't reply, but it's just it does become too much. So I understand. So what I was trying to explain is, on one hand, going back to Aaron's aquarium, on one hand he will probably be enjoying the freedom of not having to put out content constantly, because it's as I said, it's like a grind. And then on the other hand, see you later, Nasty Nemo. Thanks, obviously, as always. On the other hand, you get it's like an addiction. You get pulled back into it. So I can't imagine that he's gone forever. I can't possibly imagine he'd be gone forever. But if anyone knows how to get hold of him, obviously look, there's 101 people watching. He might even be watching himself, but I doubt it because he doesn't like me very much. No, I'm just joking. But if anyone knows how to get hold of him, let me know, because because I know he hasn't got the same number anymore, and I have tried contacting him on other various platforms, if you see what I mean. But I couldn't get through, which is a shame, because I hope he's all right. So when's the new roommate coming? Mindy will be here on Friday. Friday this week, Mindy will be here. It has been a stressful time for both of us. Far more for her. But because obviously she's had to prepare the dogs and things like that. But I'm obviously preparing for a family, basically. I'm preparing for not a new roommate. But yes, so it's yeah. Anyway, I obviously have been here for an hour now, and he does have a gaming channel, but he doesn't post it very often. And I did comment on it, but he hasn't come back to me. I should change my name to Morg. Rich, do you think you're the only person who's made that joke over the last 2.5 years? So Mindy, will Mindy be the mega build? Will Mindy be a mega build employee? Mindy might take over the mega build. It might be a hostile takeover. So, but it's look. I have no doubt that obviously she will help with that aspect of it. So, but I also struggle to let go of anything. So it's unlikely that I'll be giving up completely, that's for sure. Reef Morg. That's I like how it's a shameless play on your name. So Reef Talk is another great YouTube, great YouTuber. He's I quite often watch his channel and wish that I was better. So it's but yes, as I said. Anyway, I always like to give a 5-minute warning. So in 5 minutes time, I will be gone. So if anyone's got any questions, if anyone has anything they would like to ask, then we have until 23 minutes past, and I'll be gone. So I've had quite a lot of people watching today. So it's you all must be properly bored. But hopefully, obviously, you've enjoyed listening to me ramble. Would love to see the build in person. You're about 2 hours away, aren't you? It depends if you want to do the drive. But as I said, there are people that do collect coral. So if there are local people too, then obviously you're more than welcome. Are you getting any anemones? Again, anemones are one of the things. Eventually, I'll have probably everything. I'll probably have rock flower anemones and bubble tip anemones. There's a few anemones that I won't have. I don't think I'll get a carpet anemones and things like that. But things that can easily be rock flower anemones can't be propagated easily. But bubble tip anemones can be propagated in exactly the same way as mushrooms. Although it sounds harsh, you can literally cut them in half with a blade, and then you have two. And it's funny because people don't like the concept of cutting a bubble tip anemone in half with a razor blade, but they have no trouble doing it to a redactus like a bounce mushroom. But they're basically the same thing. So yeah. But I will definitely get a. I will probably have an entire tank full of anemones that has no power heads in it. Do I have an experience with possum wrasse? I do have experience with possum wrasse. I actually have a possum wrasse. I have a yellow banded possum wrasse. I believe there's 3 types. I can't remember the name of the other 2 types, but they're one of my favourite wrasses. They're not the prettiest wrasse, but they're definitely one of the more interesting ones. They're quite secretive, so you don't see them all the time. So I love fish that you don't see all the time, because when you do see them, it's like a privilege, if you see what I mean. So yeah, David, if you can get Michael to contact me, if you just tell him, just tell him that I don't want. I'm just, as I said, I'm just want to chat, but you might not want to chat. So if you can get a message, just say Ryan wants to talk to you. You never know, maybe he'll call. But as I said, I literally just want to make sure he's all right, because as I said, I understand the pressures of this, and obviously it was a tough time with his shop and stuff like that. So, oh, he's okay. Well, that's good then. You don't need to get him to call me then. So, but no, as I said, whenever Mike and I talk, so we used to talk maybe once a month or once every 2 months, but we would talk. Those talks would be 2 hours long. We almost got to the stage where we had to prepare ourselves to know. So we would call each other while we were driving on hands-free, and we knew we were going for a long distance. Or I know he definitely did, because those phone calls used to last ages. So yeah. Anyway, two minutes, I think. 2 minutes. How hard are they to get to eat prepared food? My one ate it straight away, so if I'm honest, I don't really know, but I assume that they're all right. So there's one that I prefer to the yellow banded one. But it's got sort of crisscross white bars all over it. So I'm not 100% sure what it is, but if you Google it, you'll find out what, and you'll recognise it definitely looks different to the other ones. So but yes. Anyway. Obviously, I hope you all enjoyed watching the stream, and I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed myself. I should have been doing this whole lockdown, because I've got people that will listen to me. I've got someone to talk to, or 93 people to talk to. So yeah, but I hope you enjoyed it. I cannot guarantee that there will be a video next week because obviously Mindy arrives on Friday, so you will know why there's no video. Because obviously we haven't seen each other for a long time, so I don't really want to go, oh, you know, welcome, sit down while I do this video. But yeah, so anyway, that's it. I'm gonna go watch TV. So I will see you later. And as always, I get to be very professional, and rather than just click a button, I have to get up, walk behind my phone, and then to turn it off. So right, see you later. Why is it not turning off?